UnDaoDu. To you and yours, I'm UnDaoDu. I want to talk about the Saylor effect. And as predicted, prophesied, when I saw number 15, Michael Saylor's talk, I was like, there is number 15. I've been trying to figure out who he is. I know here's Charles. I was like, who is it? And this is why, and I'll explain. The Saylor effect, and the reason why Bitcoin is hitting the 50,000 all-time high is because of the Saylor effect. And the Saylor effect is the new paradigm of corporations now putting their cash into Bitcoin. So instead of holding this cash, this fiat, this money that is just going down and down in value, that's costing 15% cost per year, Michael Saylor did a very down-to-earth, poignant talk explaining from a point of view of a CEO dealing with cash, because in essence, cash means nothing to a corporation because corporation is governed by shareholders. Shareholders want one of two things, as you'll hear Michael say, and that's number one, they want either their share price to go up, use cash to buy back stock, all right? You end up kind of eating yourself doing that. And number two, you want dividends. So if you have cash on the books, it's good for a rainy day, but it costs of, inflation, everything else. And he goes into detail all that. And the moment I heard him talking is like, Elon is ripe. And I started to tweet and said, you know what? You're going to see Elon Musk buying Bitcoin. I said this a couple weeks ago. And sure enough, as of today, or was it yesterday, I'm in Japan. I live in the heartland of Zen Buddhism, where I was awoke, right, as the Sahdu of Bitcoin, blockchain, AI, the foundation here. This is foundation, the blocks, right? There it is. That's Bitcoin. Here's the blockchain. Here's AI, UnDaoDu, the triad. He's staring at Natsukaze, which I talked about in 2019. Natsukaze means summer wind, summer cold, right? Coronavirus. So the Saylor effect is happening, and just as 2019 was a transition of the early adopter institutional investors, that was 2019, 2020. 2021 represents the early adoption, Michael Saylor being the first, Elon Musk of corporations now storing their fiat, their money. So you're going to see people moving away now from holding the dollar and holding Bitcoin. And it just makes sense as you listen to him. What does that mean? Well, everything is driven by scarcity. And what people don't seem to grasp is the scarcity of Bitcoin. It is the most scarce thing on the planet. So you're going to see a lot of people now hee-hawing about it's a bubble and it's too high and everything else. Why? Because they want to buy. They don't want to spend 50,000 of Bitcoin, which Elon just drove up. Okay, but Elon bought at 38,000 or whatever it is a token. Now it's gone up to, it's going to be 50 this week probably. It's probably going to go higher because other corporations are going to say, you know what, we might as well get in now. And there is no point, I always tell people, there is no point in Bitcoin history where 5 years from the time you bought, you are not times 10 ahead of your investment. So you get times 10, right, your investment. So if you invested $1,000, it'd be 10,000 in 5 years. There's no point in the history of Bitcoin going back that 5 years prior, you're not. Now understand, the height was 2017, was at 17.8. Okay, we still have 2 years to go. So, don't be saying, well, if I bought, well, that was 4 years ago, 18, 19, 20, 21. Next year, you're going to be, again, over a times 10 return. And because of this. So the Saylor effect in Bitcoin is now corporations putting their cash reserves into it. And it's going to be this money rush. Do not become tempted to sell your Bitcoin. Do not sell your Bitcoin. as soon as you have Wall Street bets, if you had the, the 18 or whatever, 9 million, 10 million, whatever subscribers, if each and every one of them just bought, okay, think of it, not 10, let's say 10 million, $100, right? That's $1 billion, I believe, if my math is right, into Bitcoin, $1 billion into Satoshi. If everyone just held $100 of Bitcoin now, go out there, buy $100, forget about it. If you can get $1,000 of Bitcoin, if they're known as Satoshi, get it, hold. Unlike Wall Street, there is nothing they can do to stop this. They can't all of a sudden tell you, oh no, you can't buy anymore or anything else, right? Buy as much as Bitcoin as you can affordably lose, right? Don't buy that new car. I bought my wife a new car on Bitcoin, right? That car was worth $30,000. I paid $50,000 now. I should have, but my wife wanted a car, and I said, all right, I'll get you a car. I promised her 5 years ago that I'd get her a car. So, but that's fine. I reminded her. She has some Bitcoin. She'll say, "Can I cash it? Can I cash it?" I said, "You can, but a year from now, it's going to be 100,000, 200, 300,000. Do you want to lose that? How are you going to feel about it?" And she's like, "No." So most people are going to are scared, right? You got to have that belief. And as the Sahdu of Bitcoin, blockchain, AI, I am telling you the why of it all, right? And we're getting to the why. It is UnDaoDu is the why. The unraveling of fiat as the global reserve currency. That is now happening because of the Saylor effect. That's a major paradigm effect, right? That's a major paradigm milestone in the history of Bitcoin is Michael Saylor coming out and talking about that, because that transition, and it's hard for you to see it right now, but in the future, when they look back, they're going to look at this 2020 purchase in the late, I only heard about it, just a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That's a major thing. And you cannot downplay it enough. So the Saylor effect has happened. It's the Bitcoin Saylor effect. Thank you, Michael Saylor, for causing Bitcoin. Thank you, Elon. I'm sorry you're not on here, Elon. You may be the richest guy in the world, but you're not part of this, right? You are part of this because of Michael Saylor, his act and everything else. You could have been, right? Maybe this is Elon too. It doesn't. This represents everyone, right? Who is in this paradigm. So this does represent Elon. Okay, this is you. This is Michael Saylor. All these corporation CEOs. This represents the CEOs purchasing, right? Coming in and buying. So thank you. So there you go. The Saylor effect explained to you. UnDaoDu. I'm going to end with a little chanting. You could argue that it's my chanting that brought it up. Right? My birthday is in November. That's when the second bull rush started last year in November. As a gift to UnDaoDu, to me, right? Chanting in the new age. Bitcoin's going to unravel. DAO, the blockchain, is going to unravel Wall Street and the corporation. And then quantum AI is going to unravel everything. UnDaoDu to you.